The Penguins made the Blue Jackets sweat the last time these two teams met in Pittsburgh. Did the Blue Jackets sweep the Penguins in their 2024-2025 season series? My name is Scott McGregor, and this is Penguins Postgame. Let's get started. You're locked in to Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins play here on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Hey, showcase scores! The bingo game is ready to roll. Welcome to Penguins Postgame. A PPG for PGH. And you'd have to be here to believe it. Here is your host, Scott McGregor. Welcome in, Penguins fans. Welcome in, Blue Jackets fans. And welcome to another great edition of Penguins Postgame. I am your host, Scott McGregor. And the Penguins avoid the clean sweep. They avoid the clean sweep of the Columbus Blue Jackets against the Columbus Blue Jackets, I should say, in their season series finale on Friday night in Pittsburgh. And we'll find out how it all went down in just a little bit. But first, let's go and take a look at our head coaches and the matchup in goal for both of these teams, shall we? The head coaches of the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Columbus Blue Jackets are Mike Sullivan and Dean Everson. The matchup in goal for these two men, Mike Sullivan and Dean Everson. Well, Mike Sullivan would go to Alex Nedeljkovic along with Tristan Jarry in at backup. So from Jarry to Nedeljkovic, we go. Dean Everson would counter with Elvis Merzlankins. Elvis, if I pronounce your last name wrong, sincerest apologies. And Jet Greaves picking up the backup duty for this one. So it's 39 versus 90 and 35 versus 73. Jackets going with Elvis Merzlankins. Penguins going with Alex Nedeljkovic. On to the game we go, as our opening segment will continue. And we are going to start off this show the same way we did the last one, by bringing you the penalties before we get to the scoring. We're going to start, as always, in the first period of play. Bokondji Imama and Matthew Oliver throw down 11 minutes and 49 seconds in to kick us off on our penalty summary. Matthew Oliver and Bokondji Imama taking a 5-minute major for fighting at the 11 minute and 49 second mark of the first period of play. Those are the only penalties called in the first period. Second period we go. By then there is some score here. It's actually 3-1 Pittsburgh after 20 minutes of play. We'll get to the scoring in a second. Late in the second period, Bokondji Imama taking his second penalty of the game. And the Jackets will go to the game's first power play of the evening. A 2-minute minor to Bokondji Imama for interference at 19 minutes and 5 seconds in. Third period rolls around and a penalty to a side. Zach Aston Reese going to the box for boarding at 6 minutes and 44 seconds. That's a 2-minute minor for boarding. And then Philip Tomasino picking up a 2-minute minor for tripping, 8 minutes and 39 seconds into the third. Shots on goal coming up in just a little bit. But now that we've gotten through the penalties, let's talk about the scoring. Let's talk about our scoring. In the first period, we begin same way we did in the penalty summary. And for the first time in 5 games, Gino Machino has scored. Evgeni Malkin picking up his 14th goal of the season and first goal in 5 games. Philip Tomasino on the assist, his 11th of the season. Former Maple Leaf, now Penguin, Connor Dewar picking up his 4th assist of the season and 4th as a Penguin. 5 minutes and 28 seconds in, the Penguins have taken a 1-0 lead on the goal by Evgeni Malkin. The scoring would continue, and speaking of former Maple Leafs, well, we don't have any Michael Bunting sightings since he was traded to Nashville for Tommy Novak, who I believe right now is still on the injured reserve list. He's on the injured list, I believe. But we will see Cookie, as we call him in Pittsburgh, Noel Acciari. If I pronounced the name wrong, sincerest apologies in case I did. His 5th goal of the season. It's 2-0 Penguins over the Blue Jackets. Blake Lizotte on the assist, his 9th of the season. And the Penguins are going up 2-0 on the Columbus Blue Jackets. 13 minutes and 55 seconds in. But a minute and 7 seconds later, Boone Jenner picking up his first goal of the year. Denton M. and Ivan Provorov picking up the assists. Ivan Provorov picking up his 22nd assist of the season. Denton Madichuk. If I pronounced that wrong, I apologize. Picking up his 4th assist of the season. It's 2-1 Pens over the Jackets. Jackets are on the board thanks to Boone Jenner. Time of the goal, 14 minutes, 7 seconds. But the Penguins get one more as Tricky Ricky, Ricard Raquel picks up his 32nd goal of the season. Brian Rust in on the assist. His 28th assist of the season. And the captain, Sidney Crosby, picking up his 51st assist of the season. The Penguins take a 3-1 lead into the second period, while they trail the Blue Jackets 13-12 at the end of 20 minutes of play. They would get another 12 in the second period of play, but here's how it went down in the scoring. The Jackets and Justin Danforth getting things started. It's now 3-2. Penguins over the Jackets. Justin Danforth, his 8th goal of the season. Matthew Oliver took a penalty in the first period earlier, as we went over in our penalty summary. Now he's got his 11th assist of the season. Damian Severson picking up his 19th assist of the season. That was 1 minute and 35 seconds in, and it's 3-2 Pens. 1 minute and 35 seconds into the game. Second period of play. 8 minutes and 15 seconds in, the Penguins put the pedal to the metal. And it's this time, it's Bokondji Imama. Second career NHL goal. First career NHL goal as a Pittsburgh Penguin. And first of the season for Bokondji Imama. But it's his second career NHL goal. His first came with the team that is now known as the Utah Hockey Club. But before the hockey club took over, that was named, they were called the Arizona Coyotes. And that was where Bokondji Imama picked up his first NHL goal in his career. Congratulations to him, picking up his first as a Penguin and second goal in his career. His first of the year, second in his career, and first as a Penguin. Congratulations, Bokondji Imama. Congratulations, Boko. Danton Heinen on the assist. His 17th of the season. Kevin Hayes also on the assist. His 10th of the season. 8 minutes and 15 seconds in. What was 3-2 is now 4-2. And then it's Crosby time. Sidney Crosby. His 25th goal of the season. Matt Grzelcyk on the assist. His 31st assist of the season. This makes it 5-2 Pens. And the time of the goal, 15 minutes, 31 seconds. After the second 20 minutes of play. Blue Jackets out shooting the Penguins 16-12 at the end of 40 minutes of play. For the game, they were out shooting the Penguins 29-24. Third period we go. Columbus once again getting things started. This time it's Kent Johnson, 3 minutes and 45 seconds in. He will score his 22nd goal of the season. Sean Corelli picking up his 10th assist of the season, and Yegor Chenkov picking up his, apologies if I pronounced that wrong, but YC picking up his 8th assist of the season. It's 5-3 Penguins. Elvis Merzlikins is gone. The net is empty. Just under 2 minutes left, 3 minutes to the exact. And it is for Ryan Rust, the Rusty Razor, to put this puck in the empty net for his 23rd goal of the season. Ricard Raquel picking up his 29th assist of the season. Only assist of the game. And Penguins goaltender Alex Nedeljkovic getting a helper on that one as well. Alex Nedeljkovic, first assist of the season for Nedeljkovic. For Tricky Ricky Ricard Raquel, it's his 29th assist of the season. 18 minutes and 3 seconds in, and then for the final couple of minutes of play, the Pens hang on to beat the Jackets 6-3, your final. Oh boy. I'm going to tell you right now, Penguins fans, I'm going to tell you right now, despite being outshot in the shots on goal category, which we're going to get to in a second, despite being outshot, that was a must win. Now you hear the term phrase, oh, but that's just a weaker team. They have a couple other harder opponents to play. Well, you're right. You'd be right. They got the Lightning coming up. They got tomorrow. They've got the Panthers coming up to kick off a 3-game road trip that will end in Buffalo. And Buffalo right now is at the bottom of the barrel. So I think we could see 2 Jari starts in the next 2 games, and then 1 Alex Nedeljkovic start against Buffalo before the Penguins face a team like the Ottawa Senators, who are right now in that first wild card spot. That's right, they are in the first wild card spot right now as we speak. So they'll face Ottawa, and then they have St. Louis, Dallas, Boston, the Hawks, of course, and the Washington Capitals. They're not going to catch the Capitals right now. The Capitals are in. They've clinched the playoff berth. You're not going to catch Washington. Let me just be clear. You're not catching Washington. You will not catch Washington. All right. Quickly here before we take our first break, let's wrap things up here with the shots on goal for the game and the shots on goal after regulation. Penguins outshot 19-10 by the Jackets. And for the game, they would finish the game being outshot 48-34 in a game that started 8 minutes after 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Mountain, 11 p.m. UK time, I should say, as we are in the daylight time zone, not the savings time, and midnight in France time, 8 minutes after midnight. Game finished 35 minutes after 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain, 1 a.m. in the UK, and 2:30 and 2 a.m. in France. 2 a.m. in France. That's 35 minutes after it. All right. So, with that said, and with the timelines done, when Penguins postgame continues, whether or not we end up being 1 hour or not, when Penguins postgame continues, no chance to look around the league in the NHL because we were the only one on Friday night. So, when we return, it'll be the 3 stars of the game. We'll get to the play of the game, and we'll do our game stats. Then, we'll get to a look at Saturday's action as we are recording this ahead of a lot of the Saturday games. There's a couple of them that are starting at 1 p.m., including the Rangers and the Canucks. That's actually underway right now. We'll take a look at the late window of those Saturday games. And we will also get you set up for Panthers versus Pens. We will set that all up for you on the other side of our last commercial break of the show, when we will do the shake of the game, the game puck of the game, and as the games get smaller, starting on this show and going on till the end of the season, we will be doing the next 4 matchups for the regular season, as we are 28 days at the timing of our recording, 28 days away from the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Be sure to stick with us, because Penguins postgame on Sports for Beginners will continue in just a moment. Stick with us.
What a busy traffic on this Friday evening. I am almost stuck in this traffic for the last 40 minutes. And there is no way, I think, for me to get to the show. The SienaT Radio Song Bank, which is going to start very shortly. It's one of my favorite shows. And my, what a way to wind down for the weekend. Perfect 2 hours of fun-filled music. And she has so many great features. Sound of Music, Undercover, Foreign Exchange, Name That Tune, and the big wheel that she spins for Who's That or Where Are We? We cannot forget about the international stage. I have never come across such a great show in my life. I think I will have to press hard on my accelerator and go as fast as I can to get home in time. Wow! Wow! Look! I made it! I am almost there! SienaT Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, two powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches. All right, back here on Penguins postgame. My name is Scott McGregor. Thank you so much for joining us here today on the show. Friday was the venue of PPG Paints Arena, and that was the only game on the schedule. Crosby has 2 points as the Penguins defeat the Blue Jackets. They lose the season series to the Blue Jackets 2-1, but they pick up a win, which is a lot better than being swept 3-0. In my opinion, that is. But we're entitled to our own opinion. Speaking of whom, besides our shots on goal, which we talked about at the end of our opening segment of the show, we're going to get to the remainder of the game stats in just a few minutes, and then move into our play of the game, and of course, our 3 stars of the game. If you would like to get involved with our 3 stars of the game, our game puck of the game, which will be rotating over the course of these next couple of games during our shows when we can get them to you, along with bucks and pucks as our ending segments, game puck of the game and the bucks and pucks. If you want to get in on the action for the game puck of the game or the shake of the game, the play of the game, or even the 3 stars of the game, please send an email to sportsforbeginners podcast8231@gmail.com. And also, if you're on Discord, there will be a link in our episode description, and all the way till the end of the season for the Penguins, whether they make the playoffs or not, we will have it for you as a link. There will be a link in the description of our episode for you guys to check out the show and get in on the action on the Discord server, Penguins Post-Game Show Interactions. That's where you can give us your 3 stars of the game, what you think stood out to you as the play of the game, your shake of the game recipient, and your game puck of the game recipient as well. All right, let's not waste any more time. Here we go. Our final stats, besides the Blue Jackets, just to reiterate from the opening segment, out shooting the Penguins 47-34. I mentioned it was 48-34. I should have mentioned as they did change it. They did change the scoring of that last period from 19 to 18. They did change it from 19 to 18 in the last period of play. So it was 47-34 in the shots on goal tally. For the face-offs, just about 48% of the Columbus Blue Jacket face-offs were won. Between 58 face-offs thrown in this game, I should say drawn in this game, they won 28 out of 58. The Penguins winning just about 52% of their face-offs, winning 30 out of 58 face-offs. Penguins spent 9 minutes in the penalty box in this one. The Blue Jackets, spending 7 minutes in the penalty box. They went to the power play twice and did not connect. So the Penguins penalty kill a perfect 2 for 2 on the evening on Friday night. The Blue Jackets can say the same about their penalty kill, as they are a perfect 1 for 2. I should say 1 for 1, as they also killed off their only penalty that they took in this game. Penguins penalty power play, I should say, just like the Blue Jackets, 0 for 1 on the game. They only had one opportunity on the power play. They did not score. The Penguins penalty kill was a perfect 2 for 2. The power play for the Jackets, 0 for 2 on the night. The Penguins getting the upper hand in the hits category, 27-16. They blocked 24 of the Columbus Blue Jackets shots on goal. The Blue Jackets only blocking 7 out of Pittsburgh's 34 shots on goal. 12 giveaways for the Jackets, 7 takeaways. 7 takeaways for the Penguins, and 9 giveaways in this game for Pittsburgh. All right, time now for your 3 stars of the game. Quick disclaimer. If you were listening to the game on the Penguins radio network, that is brought to you by your neighborhood Ford stores in Pittsburgh. Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. We are not sponsored by it, but again, if you were listening to the program on Sportsnet Pittsburgh or even on the Penguins radio network, they are brought to you by the 3 stars themselves are brought to you by your neighborhood Ford stores in Pittsburgh. Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Your 3rd star went to Rickard Rakell, picking up 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. 2nd star went to Penguins goaltender Alex Nedeljkovic, save percentage of .936, goals against average of 3. And your 1st star went to Bokondji Imama, 1 goal, 1 point, no assist. You know, even if Crosby has 2 points in this game, I can see why the third star went to Rickard Rakell. I can see why. I can see why it went that way. I can. I really can. But all things considered, if you have a different opinion in the 3 stars of the game, let us know on the Penguins post-game show Discord server, Penguins post-game show interactions. There will be a link in our episode description of the show. If you have a shake of the game recipient that you like, or maybe you agree with some of the picks I make, or our guests make, you could send in those requests on the Discord server as well, or send an email to sports4beginners podcast8231@gmail.com. All right. From the 3 stars and stats of the game to the play of the game, last disclaimer for the show here. Disclaimer meaning that we are not sponsored by this sponsorship, but this sponsor sponsors on the Penguins Radio Network the play of the game. That is sponsored by Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. For all those in Ontario, if you have a question or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you in Pennsylvania or anywhere in the States, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, that's 1-800-GAMBLER. If you have a question or concern about your gambling or somebody close to you, and as I said during the Ontario disclaimer there, please play responsibly. Message for 21 and older. You must be 18 years or older to play. And again, the play of the game on the Penguins Radio Network is sponsored by Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. For me, if we had a guest, the honor would go to the guest. In this case, it went to Thomas for our New York Islanders recap. We don't have him on today. We don't have a guest on today for this recap. So, just like the 3 stars, I will provide you with the play of the game. And my play of the game, I'm going to go into the second period, and I'm going to go to the goal scored by Bokondji Imama. Really nice goal scored by him. I didn't exactly see it happen because I was actually at a family commitment when we were doing this. But that is mustard under the bun. I really like what I saw, though, however, when you can try to figure out how it all went down. Even as the game ended, I think they showed it. And a big shout out to Josh Getzoff and Mike Rupp, those who were on the call on the Penguins Sportsnet Pittsburgh broadcast. That's what we had if we were in Ontario, or in this case, anywhere in Canada, listening to Sportsnet. We had the coverage of Penguins and Blue Jackets, and the Jackets fall 6-3 to the Penguins. We'll take a look at our Saturday action in just a little bit. But my play of the game is going to go to Bokondji Imama. First goal as a Penguin, first of the season, second goal in his NHL career. Congratulations. Bokondji Imama. All right. This show is winding down very nicely. Shake of the game. Game puck of the game. The next 4 for Pittsburgh. Next 4 for Columbus. And a look at our Saturday schedule is on the way. Coming up next, we will take a look at our Saturday schedule and get you into the shake of the game for this show, including some of the ongoing action as we speak right now. We will take a look at all of that and set up what else is coming up as we wrap up this one. No need to look around the league for Friday because we were the only game on. Oh, but speaking of Friday, I want to save some time on this show to explain the upcoming schedule for SienaT Radio. You'll find out all about that before the program is up. Shake of the game, Saturday NHL Look Around. Next, when Penguins postgame continues. Back with more in a moment. Looking for a sports podcast that covers sports weekly as well as gets you set up for the day? Check out Weekly in Sports with me, Scott McGregor. We give some shout-outs of the week to podcasts like this one and those who do them. Discuss the Blue Jays, Bills, Raptors, and more. To learn more, check out the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Hello? How are you, my friend? Why? What's the matter? Why feeling bored and lonely? Look! Look at me! I am always happy. The only reason I can tell you it's because I listen to SienaT Radio. All the best shows you can think of. The Melting Pot, the Cosmopolitan Culture Club, and the Song Bank. There are also many more new shows to come. Please make sure to visit her website at http://sienat.wordpress.com/sienat-radio. Oh, now I can hear you more cheerful.
SienaT Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time.
Welcome back to Penguins Postgame. Penguins and the Blue Jackets from Friday, March 21st, 2025. I want to just issue a quick thing here on the last episode we did of Sports for Beginners Season 4, excuse me. When I had said 2024, what I meant to say was 2025. I was a bit confused with our years, but I guess that's okay. I knew what I knew what I would be talking about. But again, I feel like I need to bring that up here. The latest Penguin post-game shows are recap of the Blues and the Penguins, which has just gone out. That went out on March 14th. And yesterday, at the timing of our recording of our episode that we dropped it on that day, we dropped the latest recordings prior to this one against the Devils and the Islanders. You can catch that all right now on Sports for Beginners, the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And of course, our 8th episode of Season 4 is out now as well. All right, back to the topic of conversation. It is time to take a look around the NHL, and then we will get into the shake of the game. Speaking of the shake of the game, before we get into the NHL look around for Saturday, March 22nd, 2025, which is today at the timing of our recording. Speaking of that, you know the drill, Penguins fans. Brian Rust scored last night. So because he did, you scored half off Rusty Shakes. Rusty Shakes are half off today at the Milkshake Factory. So while you're enjoying this post-game show, whether it is 1 hour, it might be 1 hour, regardless of what we have for you. But all things considered, as we continue on here, I hope you're enjoying your Rusty Shake. And that's what inspired our Shake of the Game segment. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first, it's time for a little Saturday action. Roundup, I should say. Currently, the Philadelphia Flyers are battling the Dallas Stars, and that one is tied up at no score with 15:27 left in the period. The first period. The Buffalo Sabres, who will see the Penguins on Thursday this week, the 27th of March, 2025. They are tied at 0 and on the power play currently in the first period against the Minnesota Wild. That game tied up at 0s. And in the second period, Dakota Joshua with the only goal so far as the Canucks lead the Rangers 1-0 in the second period of play. And the Canucks are outshooting the Rangers as we speak, 12-2. Coming up later tonight in the action, and coming up later, in just about a couple of minutes from now, I shall say, we will have the Chicago Blackhawks take on the St. Louis Blues. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern. Coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern, the Calgary Flames go head-to-head with the New York Islanders. The Carolina Hurricanes are in Los Angeles to take on the Kings. The chase for Wayne Gretzky's record continues at 5 p.m. tonight as the Panthers take on the Capitals in D.C. The Lightning are in Utah at 5 p.m. Eastern to take on the Hockey Club. The Avalanche, as we move into the 7 p.m. slate, are in Montreal to take on the Canadiens. The Senators will take on the Devils. The Maple Leafs are in the Shark Tank. No, sorry, they're not in the Shark Tank. They are in Nashville to take on the Predators tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern as part of Hockey Night in Canada. At 8 p.m. Eastern, we will have the Red Wings taking on the Golden Knights from Vegas. Speaking of the Shark Tank, coming up at 10:30 p.m. Eastern tonight, it is the Bruins in the Shark Tank against the Sharks. And at 10 p.m., as part of Hockey Night in Canada, from Edmonton, the Oilers host the Kraken. You can watch it if you're watching on Sportsnet or CBC. You can watch it on City TV, Sportsnet, and CBC on Hockey Night in Canada. Oilers taking on the Kraken later tonight at 10 p.m. on Hockey Night in Canada. This just in, ladies and gentlemen. The Dallas Stars have scored their opening goal. It's Thomas Harley with his 14th goal of the season. And it's 1-0 Stars over the Flyers. But the Flyers are currently out shooting the Stars 6-1. All right. Let's get to the stake of the game. Players who are mentioned as honorable mentions will receive the chance to be in the running for the game, puck of the game, which you'll find out about in a little bit later in our show. Once again, our final score from Friday night, 6-3 Pittsburgh over the Blue Jackets. They get one, but they lose 2-1 in the season series. And we're going to start with Dean Everson's. Columbus Blue Jackets for our shake of the game. I'm feeling given, so we're going to give 2 out. And our first recipient is Boone Jenner. 1 goal, 1 point in the game. No assist for Boone Jenner, but I really like what I saw from him in this game. Nice way to get a goal. Could have got a couple more things if the Penguins were not careful, which thankfully they were. And next up, we're going to go to their goaltender, Elvis Merzlikins. 28 saves on 33 shots, allowed 5 goals against, none on the power play, 5 goals at even strength, all of them at even strength. But I still liked what I saw from Elvis Merzlikins. 848 save percentage. Okay, interesting. All right. And we also are going to talk about his time on the ice, 58 minutes and 19 seconds. So Elvis Merzlikins and Boone Jenner, Shake of the Game recipients for the Columbus Blue Jackets in this one. Honorable mentions going to James Van Riemsdyk, Justin Danforth, and Kent Johnson. Those are the men in the running right now for the Columbus Blue Jackets to get the game puck of the game. One person will get the game puck of the game for the Jackets between Justin Danforth, James Van Riemsdyk, and Kent Johnson. Same thing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. One of three men will receive the game puck of the game. Our two recipients, however, for the shake of the game, the first one goes, just like for Columbus, the first one will go to the goaltender this time. The first one for Columbus went to Columbus's forward, Boone Jenner. This one will go to the goaltender for the Penguins. And it will go to Alex Nedeljkovic. 44 saves on 47 shots, 3 goals given up. Save percentage of .936. 60 minutes played by Nedeljkovic. Loved what I saw from Nedeljkovic in this one. Was it by far a great game for him? No, not really. But then again, you're not going to get many opportunities to score, especially score an assist, rather, in any hockey game, even when you're down. But if you play your cards right, you might just wind up with more assists than you bargained for in this one. Alrighty. Speaking of that, our second shake of the game recipient, that goes to Penguins goal scorer Evgeni Malkin, with an honorable mention to Bokondji Imama, and an honorable mention also going out to Philip Tomasino, and the man that didn't do much tonight, but scored in the game against the Islanders to get his first NHL goal, Jona Kopiniemi. So between Jona Kopiniemi, Philip Tomasino, and Bokondji Imama, one of those three men is in the running, I should say, will get the game puck of the game for Pittsburgh. Reminder who the Jackets have. First, we'll remind you of the Penguins. We will have Bokondji Imama, Jona Kopiniemi, and of course, Philip Tomasino. Between them, they will get the game puck of the game. One of those three I mentioned, Philip Tomasino, Bokondji Imama, and of course, Jona Kopiniemi will get the game puck of the game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Our honorable mentions for the Blue Jackets are James Van Riemsdyk, Kent Johnson, and Justin Danforth. You'll find out which of those three will get the game puck of the game in a matter of moments. All right. Before we take a break, we just received another update. Esa Lindell, his 5th goal of the season, it's 2-0 Stars over the Flyers in the first period of play. Still no score in Wild and Sabres. Dakota Johnson with a 1-goal lead over the Rangers for the Canucks. And of course, all the other games that we mentioned earlier, those coming up in a little bit, and also coming up later tonight. But coming up in a little bit, we've got the Hawks and the Blues dropping the puck at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back to talk game puck of the game, next 4 contests for the Blue Jackets and the Pens. And off the top of this break, which will be a quick one, I'll get you set up for what we know so far this coming week on SienaT Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time. We'll wrap up Penguins postgame on the other side. Stick with us.
SienaT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down. Nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on SienaT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on SienaT Radio.
All right, back here on Penguins postgame. My name is Scott McGregor. This is Penguins postgame, wrapping up game 71 of an 82 game season. And the Penguins are above the Philadelphia Flyers right now in the standings as far as the wild card is concerned, but they are not in the wild card as of yet. They are not in the wild card race as of yet, as they move into the final 11 games of the season, including Sunday's game against Florida. They are not quite in the running yet for that wild card race. They're not quite there yet. But all things considered, they have 11 games to try and change that narrative. And if the Flyers don't get any points today, I don't see the Flyers really being too much of a problem for the Penguins. But I do see the Red Wings, the Jackets, Rangers, Islanders, and Boston being a problem for Pittsburgh, because they need to hop those teams to at least have any hopes of making it to the postseason, let alone the wild card. But we'll talk about that more in a little bit. As promised, I remember hearing from Siena on the Thursday edition this last Thursday, I should say, of the Cosmopolitan Culture Club on Thursday, March 20th, 2025. Either it's a week or it's next week on the 28th of March. We will have another 2-hour show of the Song Bank from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific, and of course, in the UK, well, you guys know what the time is there. But we can't forget we cannot, and I mean cannot forget about the Saturday programming, including one of the programs coming up within the next couple of minutes at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on this Saturday like we have today. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we will have Robert Godridge on the Hourglass. That's from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. in the UK. And of course, when you look at it, I would go with 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. That is where things wrap up next Saturday as well as this Saturday. And of course, we have what's currently on right now. It will be on again, I believe, next week. From 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern. 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Central. 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Pacific, and 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK time. That is the Classical Cafe with Samantha Ash. And we kick things off, as always, with Nick Blazewicz from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central, and well, the rest is history, but in the UK time, that's 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. in the UK time. For the Melting Pot on SienaT Radio. That's your Saturday lineup. And of course, I believe I'll connect with Siena on Tuesday, I believe. And just to make sure we are aware of that, of that timeline, I'll connect with Siena just to be sure that we do still have the song bank going on Friday, March 28th, 2025. All right. Time now for your game puck of the game. We talked about SienaT Radio's upcoming schedule. And now I want to get into the game puck of the game for this one. All right. So our recipients for the Blue Jackets are James Van Riemsdyk, Justin Danforth, and Kent Johnson. And our person who will be getting the game puck of the game for this game is... Congratulations goes to Justin Danforth. Big game by him today. I should say Friday. But all things considered, when we're recording this, what a game it was. And with that, Justin Danforth with the game puck of the game. Boone Jenner and Elvis Mers-Lincolns with the shake of the game from earlier. And of course, we have for the Penguins, Nedeljkovic and Malkin with the shake of the game. For Pittsburgh, our honorable mentions are Philip Tomasino, Bokondji Imama, and Jonah Koppinen. and Jonah Koponen. And our recipient on the Penguins side for the game puck of the game is going to go to between Tomasino, Jonah Koponen, and Bokondji Imama. It is going to go to Bokondji Imama. Picked up a fight, scored a goal, which scores a point. Picked up a penalty for interference, among other things. But there you have it. Bokondji Imama and Justin Danforth, your game puck of the game recipients for this one. All right, time now to close things down with our next 4 matchups. I will bring them up via my notes, as I was able to note them down before we brought this show on the air. So here we go. Who's next? We'll start with the Jackets. Who's next for the Jackets? Well, the Jackets are back in action on Monday as they take on the New York Islanders at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. They will also play on Friday night, March 28th, 2025, against the Vancouver Canucks. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. On Saturday, March 29th, that's part of a back-to-back, they will take on the Ottawa Senators at 7 p.m. Eastern. And they will also take on the Nashville Predators at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So the next 4 for them are our 2-game road trip wrapping up on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. 1 game at home, followed by a game on the road. And then a 2-game homestand starts for the Blue Jackets with the Predators coming into town on Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. They will wrap up on Saturday, March 29th against Ottawa. Before Ottawa comes to Pittsburgh as part of a back-to-back for themselves. That will be on the 30th for March. And speaking of the Penguins, who's next for Pittsburgh in their next 4 so far? Well, tomorrow on Sunday, they will have a showdown with the Florida Panthers at 6 p.m. Eastern to kick off a 3-game road trip. They will wrap up that road trip before our next 4 matchups are done, as they will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Tuesday, March 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern. They will take on the Buffalo Sabres at 7 p.m. Eastern. That is our show for this week on Sports for Beginners Season 4. That is our show. It'll be a post-game show featuring the Buffalo Sabres and the Pittsburgh Penguins. That is episode 9 of Season 4. Game time is 7 p.m. Eastern. And then next Sunday, March 30th, 2025, they go head-to-head with the Ottawa Senators at 5 p.m. Eastern. The central time zones for all these games are 5 p.m. Central against Florida, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. and 4 p.m. on the Central and Pacific timelines for the games against Buffalo and Tampa Bay. 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific for the game in Pittsburgh against Ottawa on Sunday, March 30th, 2025. That, of course, will lead to games against the St. Louis Blues, Dallas Stars, Chicago Blackhawks, Devils, Bruins, and Capitals. This just in as we start to wrap it up here. Adam Fox has evened things up in the second period of play. It is 1-1 between the Rangers and the Canucks as they head into the final minutes of the middle frame of their periods. They are tied at 1 goal apiece, but not tied in the shots on goal. The Canucks lead the Rangers 22-5. At the end of the first 20 minutes of play, the Sabres are scoreless, 0-0, with 1 period of play down. Heading into the first intermission, the Stars are leading not in the shots. They are leading 2-0 heading into the final 20 minutes of the first period of play. Goals by Thomas Harley and Esa Lindell. Those are our score updates. And be sure to catch Maple Leaf Post Recap coming up on Sports for Beginners after it airs on the ice and behind the benches. Thomas will have a good one for you, I guess, when it comes to the game between the Maple Leafs and the Predators. You can watch that game on Sportsnet as part of Hockey Night in Canada. My name is Scott McGregor. This has been a presentation of Penguins Postgame. I look forward to catching up with you all real soon, and possibly, if we can get it, on Sunday. Possibly, if we can do it on the Sunday tomorrow. If we can do it, possibly after the game between the Panthers and the Pens. If not, we'll have a full lineup of recordings on Monday. But we'll see what gets brought out. I hope to get the Penguins and Panthers game out as well. And this is one of your final reminders, in case you didn't see our Discord server on Weekly in Sports. This is one of your final reminders that we are accepting podcast recommendations. So get them in before we hit record on Monday, March 24th, 2025. That's this Monday. For our end of the month March show that will drop on Thursday, March 27th, 2025. I'll give you some final thoughts on what I'm expecting ahead of opening day on this episode of Weekly in Sports. We'll talk about the WWE Elimination Chamber results, who is facing who at WrestleMania, and I might even give you a WrestleMania prediction that is not a spoiler. It is a prediction. That's all coming up on the end of the month March show, coming your way at 3 p.m. Not 3 p.m. Coming your way tomorrow. Coming your way on Monday, March 24th, 2025, for the episode that will drop on Thursday, opening day, March 27th, 2025, when the Blue Jays battle the Orioles We'll record it on a Monday. Hope to get it to you then. If we can get our post-game show, Penguins and the Panthers, recorded on a Sunday, we will have it for you after the game. If not, we will have it for you in between recording of the Weekly in Sports show. And as I mentioned earlier on in the point where we talked about the SienaT Radio schedule, I will check in with Siena to see if we have a go for the song bank. And Siena, if you are listening to this right now, odds are you probably are, or you've waited a little while. I know we'll talk about this on a Tuesday, but I don't believe I will be able to make it in for the song bank on March 28, 2025, if that is indeed still a go. If that is indeed still a go, I won't be able to make it, but I'll try. Opening day is just 5 days away. Going on 4. But meanwhile, the Penguins beat the Blue Jackets 6-3 on Friday. They're back at it at 6 p.m. against the Panthers on Sunday. I look forward to catching up with you all then on Penguins postgame. My name is Scott McGregor. Go enjoy the 2-point party on 5th Avenue that happened on Friday. Enjoy the hockey game action on this Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. And as always, let's go Pens. We will talk to you then. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. You've just listened to Pittsburgh Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners or visit the official Sports for Beginners podcast website. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay tuned. And remember that it is not goodbye, it is until next time. And you'd have to be here to believe it.